Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome to another interview. Tonight with us, we're gonna have Day because it's day. We're gonna have Sarah, and I have a feeling you're gonna enjoy this a lot. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for
Hey,
joining
Milo.
me. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining me. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes just to sit down and talk instead of just talking nonsense behind closed doors. We're talking nonsense on a computer.
In front of everyone. It's great.
So just like I've been telling everyone, this is nothing formal. This is just a fun conversation between friends, and there are a bunch of random questions. And the first thing that I always ask everyone is, "What do you have for breakfast?"
Uh, Water. I actually went on a 6-mile run this morning. So yeah, we left around 7:45 and then got back later
I
and had
I
lunch.
went. I tried to go for a run once in this whole quarantine, and it was okay. Story time. I was very drunk. It was 6 a.m. and I decided I should go for a run because it's totally normal to go for a run while I'm drunk. So I just got dressed and I went out. And by the time I exited my apartment complex, I was dead. I was dying. I was about to puke. So I just decided to go for a walk. And that walk lasted for like 2 hours because I just kept calling people on FaceTime.
Yeah. mm We've been trying to run or walk every single day, but there was one day that I had been like Zooming one of my friends and I was drunk and I looked at both my roommates. I was like, let's go for a walk. That only lasted an hour because I was I was like, I can't do this.
But it was fun though. um, so after that, since you had water for breakfast, what is the most hilarious childhood memory that you have?
Oh. Um Hilarious childhood memory.
Yes.
I have a brother. He's 5 years older than me. We didn't really get along. I don't know how like hilarious this is, but I was the good child. I like never got in trouble. And that's usually because I didn't do anything wrong. I've always been the one that's like scared to disappoint my parents. Um, but there was one time that my brother and I were sitting at the dinner table, and I looked at him and I was like, "Hey, watch this." And I did something, I don't remember what it was, but like to get in trouble, and my dad yelled at me, and I was like, "It wasn't me. It was my brother." And my dad started yelling at my brother, and we both started cracking up laughing, and he was like, "Why?" And he was like, "Why are you guys laughing? Like, this is serious." I was like, "You watched me do it and you're yelling at him." Um, there was one other time that I had a friend spending the night and he had a friend spending the night, and we started like whipping grapes at each other, like all four of us, and we're like this grape floor, and there were stains on like the walls, and my parents didn't know for like a long time, like a few months, and then there was one day I came out of the bathroom and like it's a hallway. Down the hallway there's like a room on the left, a room at the very end, and a room on the right, but right before the room on the right there's the bathroom door. So like when you walk out, you walk right into the wall, and at the very bottom right above the crown molding there was a grape stain, and this was like several years later, and I had to like get my brother. We were like visiting or something, and I had to like get my brother to come look and be like, "What
Oh
is this?"
no.
So everything's repainted now, so you can't see it. But
I mean, something similar happened to me, but this time I did it with all the intentions. I took a Sharpie and I wrote my cousin's name everywhere around my grandma's house in Sharpie, and it was her name. And I was really good at tracing her handwriting, so it looked like she wrote it.
oh no!
And she got in so much trouble, and I was like, that is not my handwriting. I couldn't,
Oh my gosh!
and it was everywhere.
Way more permanent than grapes.
You would see it everywhere, but now they paint it up so you can't see it. But you would literally walk up the stairs and you would see her name like 3 times going up the stairs.
My parents would have killed me. I would have been in so much
I mean,
trouble.
when they figured it out, I got in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But now I just have to laugh it out because there's nothing else I can do. So Sarah, would you rather be bald or covered with hair from your head to the toes?
I think I'd rather probably be covered with hair. As annoying as that would be, I'd have to shampoo it and brush it every day. I really just like, don't get me wrong, I've had an undercut and like I've wanted to shave like a side of my head, but I have such a round face. I feel like I'd look like a man, and I'd rather brush my hair than put on makeup every day. So weird. Plus, then I could look like a Wookiee, so it's fine.
That would be the perfect Halloween costume, honestly.
Oh my gosh, I tried to talk to my roommate, and we didn't have a third person, but there's a picture on Pinterest of like these Wookiees like decked out, but there's like a bright pink, a bright purple, and a bright blue Wookiee, and it's cool, but it's a lot.
Oh my god. I mean, but it would be cool though.
Yeah.
So, if animals could talk, which animal do you think would be the most rude animal?
Most rude animal?
Yes.
I feel like birds. Like, it doesn't even matter what kind of bird. Like, I feel like they just fly up. Like, they already have a lot of nerve.
They
And
get
like,
really close to you.
yeah, they already like attack easily. So I feel like if they actually could talk too, it just wouldn't be a good combination. I've been chased by several birds.
Can you imagine being chased by a bird and he's like, you, come here, and it's flying and you're oh my god, or you know that whenever you go to Animal Kingdom, you sit down to eat something.
Yes.
All the birds are around you. Imagine if they could talk. It's like, hey, that's me fry. Hey.
You think the birds from Finding Nemo are bad? They're like, mine. It'd be so much worse.
So what is the best lie you were told when you were a kid that you still remember?
I don't know if I remember any of them because like my parents we're very realistic family. I think that's why it's so hard. Like I don't have that great of an imagination. I am I'm a realist. I wish I was more optimistic. I'm not super pessimistic, but like this is probably what's going to happen goes on through my mind. So I don't really remember anything like any lies my parents told me. If they told me like
not even Santa Claus?
I mean, Santa Claus, my brother believed a lot more than I did. Like I believed in him because I was a kid and like that's what everyone told me. But like other than like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, my Easter Bunny did bring me like pennies and like quarters though. There was always like one egg with like $3 worth of quarters and then like several eggs with like pennies and then a few with candy. So that was pretty cool.
Did you ever get to do like an Easter, like an egg hunt and all that stuff?
Yeah, so my holidays were very different because my parents are divorced. They've been divorced since I was 4.
Same.
Yeah,
My whole life.
Yeah, right? Like, it was great because my parents have always been very civil. Like, I'm sure they had their disagreements. I mean, they're not together, but they were always very civil, communicating with each other and always making sure that they agreed on what we were doing and where we were going, who was with who for what holiday. So, like, it wasn't our birthdays were always together. So our parents would do the party together if we wanted the party together. Like they would come over to each other's houses. They actually lived right around the corner for a long time, and then they lived a street over from each other. And now they live like 5 minutes away from each other. Not that they like hang out, but it was nice to be able to go back and forth.
Yeah, they were
so,
like they were close. Like they
right.
were close to you guys. For you, they were close for you guys. That's what
right. So like it was like a weird Easter hunt. Like we woke up and there were some eggs around our house, but it wasn't like we didn't really go outside and do all the like major stuff. But we were super good anyway.
I never did that like that big of a deal with Easter because back home we don't do big stuff for Easter.
Right.
But I'm asking because I was just curious. I'm like, How do you do an Easter hunt or anything?
We would do like a dinner or something with like our grandparents or my stepmom's family or something.
I mean, we would all like gather at one of the houses and be like, let's go for dinner, like order pizza and play board games and like all the family. We would
Yeah.
do that. That's something we would do. So what song do you know all the words to? All the words.
Pretty much any Disney classic.
Well, when you ask, yeah, that makes sense. I was like, oh my god, oh my, I always want to. If I'm talking to someone that have worked it with Disney, it's like any Disney classic. Like we hear them every single day. So
Well, that was Star Wars and Disney movies were like the only thing my brother and I got along about growing up. And he and I have been to since I've been old enough to go, because I was alive during episode 1, but I wasn't old enough to go see it in the theaters. But episode 2,
same, yes. I
yeah,
got the VHS. I remember having the VHS for episode 1, and I loved it so much. But my mom would never let me watch the end because of Darth Maul.
I love Darth Maul. Darth
I
Maul's
love
my favorite.
I love it too, but at the end he like spoiler alert. I mean, he gets cut in half. Just
Right.
because of that part, I was not allowed, or I had to look away for that part.
You know the funny thing? So, like, have you seen all of Fantasia?
I have. Well, I think I always end up.
With, like, Chernabog at the end?
Oh
So,
yes. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I was like, I always got it off at Chernabog, but if that's the end, then yes.
So, that was the thing. So, like, I was raised very, like, conservative Christian. So, like, my mom still isn't, like, a fan of Harry Potter. Like, my dad loves Harry Potter. My brother and I like Harry Potter. But not like we like understand there's a difference between like witchcraft and like
Yeah.
that kind of witchcraft, right?
Yeah,
So
because
like
it's Harry Potter is more fantasy than.
right.
So it's like whenever I showed, I don't remember who I showed from my family. I showed them Coven, how uh American Horror Story, Coven.
Uh-huh.
And they were like, what is this? This is too much.
Right. Well, so like I don't like scary things. Like I like haunted houses, but I don't like scary movies because I can't like separate the fact that it's not real. So like when we were younger, my parents wouldn't even let us watch the end of Fantasia for like where Chernabog was. But
Ooh.
I was allowed to watch all of the Star Wars movies.
I mean, wait, talking about Star Wars, are you up to date with Clone Wars?
No, I'm not. I'm still on the end of season 2. I've been trying so hard to get through it. I know.
Season 3 is amazing. Season 2 gets a little slow. Season 3 is so good. Season 4 is way better.
That's what I've heard. So like
it gets
I
so,
started
it gets
it
so
was
good.
It was so hard to get through season 1. So hard.
The
And
first
then,
two
like,
seasons are like whack. Are like, what the fuck is this?
it's rough because like they don't stay on storyline. Like
But
they keep moving around.
Well, how are you? Yes, but how are you watching it? Because there's a way to watch it.
What do you mean?
So the episodes up until season 6, they're not in chronological order. You have to look online. There's a list of like you have to see episode.
What's the point of that? Who decided that?
Because they started. Because the thing is, what I think they did was that they started writing the story, and they were like, "Oh, we can do an episode touching this part, or we can do a prequel to that episode, so they can understand."
I hate that.
And yes, because they wanted to start tying things up. So if you look for that list, it will be like, go to season 3, episode whatever. Go to season 1, episode this. Go to season 3, episode 10, this. And then go to season 6, episode.
So, like, is it better that way? Because, like...
Yes, because you can understand. And if you see that list, you will skip a lot of filler episodes. So you will get to the point. You will follow the storyline.
Like, I want to see all the episodes, but it's just like it's confusing because they're like
yeah.
this happened, and then I watch the next episode, and I'm like, I feel like I'm missing so much information. And then 3 episodes later, it's like we now return to General Grievous, and I'm like, General Grievous haven't been here the last 4 episodes. Like,
yeah, it's kind of confusing, but once you get to season 6 and 7 are like very cohesive.
Oh my gosh. The worst episode, I have to say, it's actually probably one of the best, but also the worst because it was very well put together, like thinking wise, and it showed really like how well Anakin thinks on his feet. But my worst fear is spiders. I hate spiders. I
Oh,
can deal with like
yes.
other bugs.
And
I work
I know,
jungle cruise. I refuse to get on boats if they have spiders on them.
I
You,
know, I know who you are talking about.
yes, there was this
He's back.
general that was a spider, and I was like, I
And
can't.
oh my God, he's one of the main generals in the series. So you're gonna be seeing a lot of him.
Great.
And
Fantastic.
it's just that the way he talks and the way, nope.
Yep.
Nope. Yep. Nope.
Oh. He's hairy and has all these limbs and those fangs, and I'm like.
But there's one episode that has nothing to do with the storyline. But I feel like, I don't know which episode, like where is it in the seasons, but when I saw that episode, I was like, damn. Because it's about the little Padawans learning how to earn their cyber crystals and how to make their own lightsabers.
That's cool. I haven't gotten there yet.
And it's a whole, like the whole.
Also, if you haven't watched Clone Wars, you should probably stop listening now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yes. Or just don't stop watching, just keep going forward. But that episode, whenever you get to it, it has nothing to do with the storyline, but it tells
But it explains it.
It explains the whole, how old you have to be, how are you able to like get your crystal, how do you choose your materials, how you choose your lightsaber, what happens, and of course something has to go south because it's,
of course, yeah.
But it's so well done, and when I saw that, that's when I say Clone Wars, I immediately think of that, because also the main character for that episode is Ahsoka. And
of course, I love Ahsoka. I never understood the hype behind her, and then I started watching this, and I was like, oh, well, now I get it.
In this season, there is, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but there is a fight scene in the last season that they use motion capture for the scene for both parts.
Interesting.
And the animation looks so fluid and so well done, because it's technically not animation. It's animation, but it's more CGI.
Right.
So I saw it and I had to go back and I had to like rewatch. I watched that fight scene like 4 times in a row because it was so well done.
Well, so they're supposed to be doing, I don't know if it's in the Obi-Wan series or what series it's in, but like it's basically like a live action, or maybe it's the new season, I don't know, but they're not using Ashley Eckstein. She didn't sign on to the project for Ahsoka.
No, it's gonna be Rosario Dawson.
Yes.
So the Mandalorian season 2.
There we go. I knew it was for something, but I couldn't remember what
and
it was for.
I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna stop talking about it, because if you're watching this season, you will understand some things if you watch The Mandalorian.
Dude, I love The Mandalorian.
So I would suggest just get through it, because you really want to watch this season.
So I'm like really against things that come out and everybody is just like, oh my god, I love this. Like, I am so against bandwagon things. I don't know why. It took me forever to buy my first Spirit jersey. And the first one I bought, of course, was Star Wars. The second one I bought, of course, was Star Wars. The third one I bought, of course, was Run Disney. Like, so finally I was just like, all right. So I bought the like coral one and the Christmas one. I think those are the only ones I have.
For Spirit jerseys, I bought the one I used for my birthday last year when I went for Villains. That is just a plain gray Spirit jersey. But I got the Mickey Celebration cast member one. That is my favorite. So
really?
Because in the back it says "Get your ears on." Have you seen it?
Oh yeah, I know what one you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah. Oh my god. I love it so much. Love it.
So like when Mandalorian came out, because like I'm so against. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. And finally, everyone at work was talking about it, and I was like,
I had to watch it because I didn't want it to get spoiled. You know.
It was worth it. Honestly, it was so worth it.
I watched it every single episode, like there, and I was like.
And then of course I hopped on the Baby Yoda bandwagon.
Oh, me too. Me too. I bought this shirt and I was like, this is so
I know you have the Tumblr.
I do, and I was actually going to Build a Bear because I was gonna get it, but it's closed.
So the last couple times my mom has come down, my brother and I both been working, couldn't really get off work. So she's kind of like hung out by herself a little bit. And or he had to go to work or I had to go to work or something. So my brother had set her up. He had to do, I don't know what he was doing, but he had set her up to watch The Mandalorian while he was doing whatever he had to do at home. And all of a sudden she was obsessed with Baby Yoda. And like he bought her Disney Plus for Christmas or something. Like a year of
it. I mean, that character is so smart. Everyone loves a cute character.
Well, my roommate had made for Christmas this year for some of her coworkers had made like clay, like baked clay, obviously because she's an artist. She went to school for art. Ornaments, Baby Yoda ornaments. And she had one in her car, and like my car, we were going to get my car fixed. So my roommate was driving, and my mom was like, "That's so cute. Can you make me one?" And my roommate was like, "You can just have this one." And she was, "Oh my gosh, no way!" Like, she's the favorite child.
Oh wait. By the way, before we stop talking about Star Wars, do you have your baby around?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna go get mine.
Isn't it right? Is it right there?
Yeah, I'm gonna go get it. I just want everyone to see your little babies.
He's still unnamed. I know it's a boy, but I never ended up naming him.
This is also a boy, but I forgot the name. I know I gave it a weird name and I regretted it. So for now,
always rename him. He's a droid. He just has to reprogram. I love him. He's so cute. The cat is terrified of him.
Oh, that is good.
Should I show like
there you go.
There it is. I had some notification. Should I show like how actually huge of a nerd I am?
Go for it.
All right. So the droid was a gift from my brother because we never really like get each other birthday and Christmas presents and stuff.
Yeah, I was there that day. I remember.
So this was a gift to myself.
I loved it.
Protection and defense. No! I think the battery died. So the battery's dead. It's purple because Mace Windu.
Of course.
I like that I have the powers of the light side and the dark side, so of course I had to get purple. I also have
if I ever get a lightsaber, the only one I want is Ahsoka's one because there's the double one.
I want Darth Maul's lightsaber so bad.
That one is amazing.
So bad. But it's double blades and it's double like of the actual blade, and it's also double hilt. So like it's super expensive. I also have the Galaxy's Edge poster, Galactic Knights 2017 poster. I feel like I have a couple more that I'm hanging up. And then my roommate drew me a picture of Darth Maul for Christmas one year. It's like his face. It's like all black and then you can see his face popping out. It's cool.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
A whole Star Wars wall.
Or very terrifying. One of the two.
It's behind my TV right now. You like can't even tell unless you look at it. And when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's so cool. I wish I had half that talent.
I feel like I would be scared. If I wake in the middle of the night and I see a picture of Darth Maul on my wall, I would be very scared.
I can't sleep without like complete darkness, so you really can't even tell.
Oh, well. I mean, there's never complete darkness in my room for some reason. Because there's always light outside. And even I like shut the blinds.
Our place came with blackout curtains.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they're nice. I mean, I feel like it's just like a really heavy, because it's like navy blue curtains, but it's like a heavy fabric, so it's just pitch black.
Well, that's good. Okay. Enough with the nerding out. So, if you could compare yourself to any animal, which one would it be?
Comparing or my favorite animal?
No. If you could compare yourself, if you could be an animal, let's put it that way. If you could,
If I could be an animal. That's so hard.
I mean, it could be hard, but
Be a bird.
a bird.
Yeah, like I literally just sat there and was like, I mean, like,
You just
everybody
said the
knows I'm
birds.
very vocal anyway, so like, you know, birds can talk. I feel like I'm the version of them talking. Not afraid to tell you, like, you're doing something wrong. But like, I could go anywhere I wanted to. So like, my thing is when I'm running and I see like these lizards, I always feel bad because like, I'm like, do you know how long it would take them just to go from one place to the other and then get back home? Like, I don't know where do they have nests? I don't know how lizards
I
live.
think they lay eggs, so I think it's a yes.
Yeah,
I'm
but
an
like,
expert.
I wouldn't want to be something small because then I couldn't go anywhere. And I feel like birds just do whatever they want, and people are terrified of them. Again, I've been chased by several birds, like 2 big birds. Like the reason that there's not a roadrunner at the Toledo Zoo anymore is because it hopped out of its enclosure and then chased me around it. Like I wasn't the only one it did that to, but I was the last one it did that to. And then a couple of years ago, I was walking into Yes programs, so we have to walk through like the Woody lot at the TTC, and there was this giant turkey, and it started following us, and it started speeding up, and my roommate has a video of me like running away from it.
Oh my god.
Terrifying. So like I feel like that'd be cool. I could roam around. I could fly where I wanted to, and a lot of them like fly north and then fly south for the winter and then go back, which I feel like would be ideal.
That is very well thought. That
It
is
was
very
really like thought of in the second. I have never thought about that before. Like I don't even like birds that much, but they're not terrible.
I mean, but now you find new appreciation for the birds.
I had a bird as a pet once. It almost I almost had to get stitches because it bit me so hard. So yeah, that was fun.
You're definitely not a bird person.
No.
So
like ducks. What a duck.
It was a duck?
No, I'm saying like I could be a duck. I feel
Oh,
like
you could
ducks
be
are
a
like
duck.
the calmer birds.
I mean, those are the cute birds.
Exactly.
Those are really cute. So what are you most afraid of?
Spiders. What are you most afraid of?
It depends on the situation. But let's go very like profound. I'm afraid of failure.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm very afraid of like failure and disappointing people that I know I can make proud.
Yeah.
You know, it's the casual, the typical thing.
This is super deep.
What would you eat for your last meal?
Ooh. That's a hard one. Probably my mom's Italian food. So like her mom came straight over from Italy, and then most of my heritage on both sides of my family is from Italy. Not all of it. But she would growing up. My brother wasn't like a huge Italian fan, but I was, and she would make instead of making it all the time, she would just make these huge feasts, and she would like make her own pasta, even though that's not usually what they do in Italy, but like she would make her own pasta. We have like a family sauce recipe, meatballs, ravioli,
That is so
like
good.
garlic bread. Yeah, like the works. And I was in heaven every single time.
That
So
sounds
probably
so
that.
good.
What would you have yours?
For me, my last meal would be a home cooked meal. Would be probably from my grandma. From one of them would be like rice and meat, beans and chicken all mixed in the same thing.
Yeah.
That's my ultimate favorite meal, like rice, beans, and chicken. And from that grandma. From the other one would be like white rice, pinto beans, and like she has these sauteed like potatoes and like mixed with the chicken and mushrooms. Oh, so good. I can't even. I can't even. So that's what I would take a plate, one of each. That's what I would take. I would have a plate of each. Because why have one when you can have both? It's your last meal. Go for it. So this is something I ask literally everyone. So if you could have a superpower, which one would it be and why?
That's hard.
Okay, I'm gonna give you my answer. It's gonna be travel in time. I would go back in time.
Really? Oh, I would not.
I would go back in time. It could be to be part, like, how do you say that? I'm thinking in Spanish for some reason. How do you say, like, to live again some specific moments in my life that I know I was truly happy, and I would want to relive them again instead of like being a memory. I want to go through all of that again.
Yeah, you want to relive memories.
Yeah, I would like to do that. Or if I'm in college, I would be like, it's test. I see the test. I remember what is coming. I'll go back and study exactly what I have to do, so I won't fail, and I know what I have to learn instead of like learning a bunch of gibberish that's not gonna help me at all.
There's a movie. I think it's called About Time. There's a movie about that, and it's actually a pretty cute movie. But yeah, it's on Netflix, I believe. You should watch it. It's cute.
About Time. Okay,
I think it's I think that's what it's called. Mine would be probably to read people's mind so I could know like what they're actually, I don't like either mind or emotions, because like I feel like I get played a lot, not even just in a like relationship kind of way, but like in a friend way too. Like I always get told one thing and I'm so cautious, like I'm always so closed off to people, and then finally I open up, like months later I open up, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, bye. Like, and I'm just like, why? Like, why? Like, I pick different people every single time. Like, nobody's personality is the same. It's not the same kind of person, not the same ethnicity, race, whatever. And the same thing every single time. And I look at it, I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'm doing something wrong. But at the same time, like, I don't know, because people don't stick around long enough.
Yeah. What you're saying is you would like to hear their thoughts, but not like a crazy. Do you remember Bruce Almighty when he's hearing everyone at the same time? And
I just want to know what that specific person really thinks and feels instead of like hearing them say something. Because you can sit there and tell me all you want, like I'm trying. I'm not watching you try. Like you're not actually trying. You're saying you're trying, but you're not changing anything.
Yeah.
But then, like when it comes down to it, like what are you actually thinking while you're saying I'm trying? Because you're not.
It would be.
You really think I'm gonna believe it?
Yeah, it would be a great thing, because you would know if you were getting played, and you could adjust to it beforehand.
Right.
Be like, you're trying to play me. I know what you're trying to do. I am not gonna play you, but I'm not gonna play your game either.
Right. Well, like, here's my thing is I was never really a confrontational person. Like, I've never really been, once I got into college and kind of figured out who I was, like, I call people out on their bullcrap, but, like, I've never tried to start fights. And now, because what I do is literally, it's not all arguing with people, but, like, once I became a leaf coordinator, a lot of it is going back and forth with people. Like, I'm trying to find the best solution for both of us, and people like to argue with me. And so I feel now in my personal life, I do not want to argue, like, ever. So it'd be nice if I can just walk away before I also have feelings about what I'm walking away from.
Yeah, why bring the thing you hate the most about your job? Why bring it to your personal life?
Right.
One time is enough.
And that's what I started telling people. I finally just looked at them and I'm like, look, I'm paid to do this. Like, I'm not going to do it here. Like,
yeah.
I just can't. It's not worth the fight. If it's worth the fight, like if it's someone I truly care about and like it's an argument or a disagreement or whatever, and like it really needs to be worked out, I'm going to work it out. But like, if it's something dumb, I'm not. You can win the fight. I don't care. It's not worth it to me.
Yeah, I
know I'm right.
My battles, yeah. I try to choose my battles wisely. We all have ups and downs, of course, but yeah, I totally.
It's hard nowadays because, like, I can just ask a question, like, oh, well, why do you think that? And people get so defensive. Like, well, you started the fight. And I said, I asked a question to try to understand where you're coming from, but, like, okay.
Yeah. So what if you could talk to your younger self? What would you say to young Sarah? How old would you talk to yourself first? And what would you say?
Um, oh, that's so hard. I'd probably talk to high school Sarah, and I'd probably try to tell her to come out of her shell a little earlier. So I kind of bounced back and forth between like friend groups in high school. I was never in like a clique. I played sports, so like all the sports people got along with me. I didn't party in high school, so they all like hated me at the same time because they all partied together. Uh, I was in drama. I had like one really close friend in drama club, um, and theater. I got along with all of them, but again, not super close with all of them. I was in choir. I was still friends with the band geeks because I played band. I played French horn from 5th grade to 8th grade. I hated the
Ooh.
band director, so I quit. She didn't like me either. It also was hard because I had braces, so it like really cut up the inside of my lips. Um, but I kind of just tell her to come out of her shell more. Like, don't be the quiet person. I feel like I never was super close to people. Like, I don't talk to anyone from high school anymore, and most of that is like I didn't really like who they grew up to be. The other part of it is I was never like super close with that many people. So I lost touch super easily. But I feel like if I would have come out of my shell then instead of in college, I probably would like talk to more people. But at the same time, like I'm glad I didn't get stuck in Toledo, Ohio. Like
True.
it'll always be home, but
Yeah, you have a place to call home, but at the same time, there's more there's more than one home for you.
right.
Yeah.
What would you tell yourself? How old?
I honestly would I would also go to high school, but I would go to 11th grade specifically because that was a year when I was dealing with my whole sexuality thing and I was being very, very heavily bullied in my school, but I was too afraid to tell anyone because I thought everyone was going to make fun of me, including my family. I was taking a lot of things very seriously that didn't need that much attention.
Right.
So I would go to like 11th grade Milo and be like, hey, don't take life too seriously. And for these things that are happening, those are actually serious things.
Right.
Press them. So, like give the importance to the real things and don't think that everyone's gonna make fun of you because this is hurting you a lot.
The problem is we cared, like in high school, we cared too much when people made fun of us. And like, I get it. So many hormones, so many feelings.
In my whole school, when I was in 11th grade, because when I was in 10th, there were some other people. When I was in 11th grade, I was the only person in my whole school that also went to music school.
Really?
I was the only one in my whole class. In my whole school, because whenever you go to music school, when I was in 10th, no wait.
So what does that mean, music school?
So we have school, like regular school.
Yeah.
And after hours, we go to a separate school, and it's just for music or
that's cool.
dance and art and all that. But I was the only one, so I would be walking around the whole school with my clarinet and with my backpack full of like sheet music and stuff.
Right.
I had a concert that night. I would have to like bring clothes and stuff, and I was the only one. And they would see me get off and from the bus and walk towards the music school, and they would just yell and throw stuff at me from the bus.
Dude, I hate kids.
Yeah, like, it was insane. I mean, I know where they are now, and they're not in a good place. And I don't want to say they deserved it because no one deserves whatever happened. But karma's a bitch, and it happened.
I trust me. There's been a
But
few times I've looked people up on Facebook.
yeah, I did that too. And then I also see other people that were so, so, so nice to me in high school. And I never gave them that much, not value, but like, you know, the time of day most of the time, because
Right.
they were kind of the popular kids, but they were not. They were also outcasts like me. But
Right.
I didn't see it that way. So right now they're doing great, and we are actually in touch, and I see them on Facebook, and one of them just had a kid, a beautiful baby, and she's a model, and the other one graduated college, and the other one is like doing so well with her drawing and stuff, and I'm like, I'm so proud of them.
It's funny because like you don't think about it at the time. So like looking back, like I can go and look at people on Facebook that I'm like, wow, like, yeah, you deserve that. Like, you were a terrible person to me in high school
Yeah.
and middle school. But the people that never said anything and were just nice to me the whole time, I truly enjoy looking on Facebook and be like, wow, I'm so glad you're doing
Yeah.
well in life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, we weren't
Definitely.
even friends. It's just like, you weren't mean to me, so you deserve the world. Not that I like wish poorly on anyone, but I'm just like, you all made fun of me, and now you're there. You're like you post all the time about this bad thing happened, this bad thing happened. Like I got out of there. Like at least give me credit for
Yeah.
that.
And I very recently, this is a true story. Very recently, one of them sent me a message, and I was like, what is this? Because I blocked them on Facebook. Because
Right.
I started my Facebook in high school. So I blocked them very early.
Right.
But then I decided to unblock everyone one time. And like a week after I did that, I got a message on Facebook saying, hi, I mean, this is in Spanish, I'm translating, like, hi, hope you're doing well. I wanted to contact you because you are one of my great friends from high school. And me and my family, we want to go to Disney, and we want
Yep.
to see if you can get us in for free. And I was like, what?
Yep.
I remember this was one of my worst days in high school, and he was one of those people who did that. They helped me against the wall. They took my backpack off me. They opened it, and they poured soda all over my notebook and my books. Thank you. And they opened my clarinet, and they did the same thing. And not even my family knows about this, so they're gonna know whenever I post.
Now they know.
Now they know. But they did that. They did that, and they threw eggs from the bus while I was.
Dude, I can't.
And I was like, "How dare you come talk to me after you did that?"
You were my good friend in high school. I can't.
I'm like, what? I'm like, no, this is not happening. I blocked him again. I was like, nope.
You know who like the true friends are? The ones that, so like I was really close to this girl in college. Like I'm still good friends with her. She came down and did a program. I helped her boyfriend propose to her. Now they're fiance. I'm actually gonna marry them. Hopefully their wedding happens in September. Yeah. So anytime she comes down, because she'll come down with her family. Anytime she comes down, it's like a, hey, do you know if there are any cheap rates right now? Or like, do you know like any way to do this for cheaper? It's never a like, hey, can you get me in? Even though I'm like, hey, like I don't use like this or that, or I have this that's expiring on this day, like just take this. So anything like that, but it's not a, hey, can you get me into the park?
Yeah,
it's just
same.
a, hey, do you have any tips and tricks to make it cheaper? And I'm like, this is why I love you.
Yeah, I totally agree. What I did with I have a friend from the college program. I also did a video with her. You can see it. It's later. I'm gonna upload it later. Her name is Katie. So she is from Georgia, and she came right before we closed, like right before that very
Right.
week. And I just received my guest passes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we're gonna do Disney one day because they were visiting another friend, and she was college program, and they were gonna use her tickets, her Chip and Dale.
Yeah.
And that day I was working, so I couldn't go with them. Anyways, they went one day, and then the next day, the very last day they were gonna be here in Florida, they were like, so we don't know what to do because I have an annual pass, but my other friend doesn't. So I think we're just gonna like, because they were staying in my apartment, I think we're gonna chill at your place, maybe watch a movie or something. I'm like, but don't you want to, if you're here for Disney, do you want
Right.
to go back to Disney? Like, no, because we can't afford it. So it's fine because we're just gonna chill at your place and we want to watch a movie and
Right.
or maybe even go to the movies and go eat something at Springs or something. Like, no, we're going to the park. Like,
Right.
I have my guest passes. I can take you. Come, you're coming with me. It's not like you're gonna. I'm not asking. I'm telling you, I'm off that day.
Right.
You're coming with me. And then she's like, no, you can't. Don't use your guest passes because your family's gonna come. You're gonna need them for your family. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, Katie, you are one of my best friends from this program. You're one of the good things that I got from this program. And if I can't take you in, of course I'm gonna take you in. You're gonna be my guest for that day, and you're coming with me.
Right.
And that was the only time I used my guest passes before we closed.
I got to use it, so like I don't use them very often. Because all of my family lives in Ohio, like, and the ones that come down here have an annual pass. But every once in a while, she'll come down, and if I have a day off, I'll use it on her.
Yeah,
but my thing is, like, people are like, well, you're not going to use it. You're not going to use it. Like, I don't know if I'm going to use it. Like, I'm not going to waste it on you. And then all of a sudden, my dad and stepmom be like, hey, we're going to come visit you. Because I don't see them very often. I see them maybe once a year, if that. So, like, my dad came down at New Year's, and I got to use it with him on New Year's. And, like, a couple of days after that he was here. So, like, don't sit here and be like, well, you're not going to use it. Like, I might.
Yeah. Same thing. My family, as you know, my family is in Puerto Rico. So it's like for them to come, they have to plan for it and like,
Right.
take the time and the money and all that. Actually, my mom was supposed to be here tomorrow, but
No.
she's not. Anyways, but yeah, I'm saving my tickets for my family, but it's Katie, and one day is not gonna make a difference.
Right.
It's one day.
Right.
So why not? And she didn't ask for it. She was the whole time she was thanking me the whole day. I was like, Katie, you have to stop. Like,
Right.
I get it. You're very grateful. I love you for that, but stop. I really don't mind. You're my friend. Like, stop.
Yeah. I feel like people don't get it when they don't work here.
Yeah, I mean,
And well, you get free tickets, and I'm like, that's, I mean, I kind of work for these, work hard for these, so.
Yeah, they think like, oh, you just got them. I'm like, no, I worked for this. Especially when I was doing my program, I worked for those tickets because it's different than the guest passes. And we're not gonna get into that, but yeah, I worked for those. That was my sweat and time put into getting those tickets. They were not just free.
Right. Correct.
But yeah, so the next question would be, if you could talk to a figure from the past, anyone, and you can ask for advice, who would you talk to and what would you ask?
Oh, my grandfather. I don't know. I don't know what I would ask him. I would just want to talk, honestly.
Would you just have a conversation? Yeah.
Yeah. He was my first tattoo I got. It's on my foot, and it's his signature. I took care of him his last 4 months alive. So like, I was always close with him growing up because he helped my mom. He lived with my mom for a long time and helped her raise us because she went back to med school when I was 4 or 5. So like right after my parents got divorced, she went to med school. So we lived in an apartment. My brother and I shared a room. He had his room and she had her room. So like when she was in school, like she'd work in the day, I think, and then she'd go to his class. And when she was in school, he would watch us. He would take us to school. And then when she married my ex-stepdad, he would come over every morning. Like they would both go to work. He would come over. He would make sure we were getting ready for school, take us to school. So like I was close with him growing up. And then they built a house with a mother-in-law suite. So he had like his own little apartment that was connected to our house. So I would like hang out with him there. And then he got sick and he was very mean to my mother. And she was working 80 hours a week at that point. And even when she was coming home, she still had to like do charts and stuff for work. So I was taking care of him. I was also going to college. It was right before college had started, because it was right after I'd graduated. He was too sick. He couldn't even go to my graduation. I was going through like my first breakup at the time, like severe breakup. And so all I was doing was going to work and coming home and taking care of him and just sitting on the chair in his apartment and talking. And I got to hear a lot of his military stories that he had never told me before, and just like, and talk about life. And I was so grateful for that advice later. But like, if I could do that one more time, it'd mean a lot.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you right there.
What about you?
Sorry?
What about you?
Oh, for me, I like if it's not like not a family person, a family member from the past, I would definitely go towards Walt Disney and have a lot of questions. But if it's like for a family member from the past, let's say, I would literally just go for my grandfather as well, but it's just because he always wanted grandchildren and he died right before we started.
Oh, that's rough.
Yeah. So he died, and I don't know how many years it was, like 9 years after or 5 years, or like it was not even 10 years, I think. And then my cousin came up, and then me, and then my other, and now we're 9.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that my grandmother will always tell us is like, you guys, your grandfather will be so proud of all of you.
Right.
Always wanted grandchildren, and you guys are amazing. And I'm like,
it's so great to hear, but at the same time, like, it hurts so bad when people hear that.
yeah.
Or like when people say that, because I'm just like, cool. Like my mom tells me, oh, you would have got along so well with my mom. But her mom died right after my brother was born, like a week or two after. My brother's 5 years older than me. So I never got to meet her. But it's funny because, like, my mom talks about how they got in fights all the time. And then she's like, oh, you guys would get along so well. But I think it's just because she always wanted a granddaughter. Like,
yeah. I think for us it's the same thing, because I hear stories from my dad and my uncles and my aunt talking about their father, and he was literally like the party animal, like the dad of the group, like they all had friends, but they would all come to my grandma's place, and that's the house, that's the hub for the parties, that's the hub for like dinner, let's go, like it would be there, and he would be a father figure for a lot of people. He helped a lot. He was a lawyer. I know he helped a lot of people that needed help, not necessarily, and they didn't necessarily have money, and he would still help them, and and yeah, I think that what my grandma says is there's a little bit of him in every single one of us.
Yeah.
9 of us, so there's a lot of him still around. And now to finish this whole thing, a quote. I'm gonna ask you for any quote, just the first thing that comes to your head, or the quote that you tell yourself, like, okay, this is my motto, this is like, let's get in this space.
I don't know if there's one I like live by, or like, that's hard. Growing up, I always wanted a tattoo of like, never regret, always a lesson. And it's before, like, I think the original quote's like, never a failure, always this. And like, you fail, everybody fails all the time. Like, but it's what you do with that. Like, don't regret it. Like, I would never go back to high school. Honestly, I probably wouldn't go back to college either. Like, as high school I hated, middle school I hated. Like, I was bullied a lot in middle school. I didn't have friends in high school because people were jerks. Didn't really fit in anywhere. But like, those are my experiences. They were lessons to learn, and now I know, and I won't go back and do them again. This year at the beginning of the year, so like, I never really do New Year's resolutions because my birthday is in the same month. So I'm like, okay, new year, new birth age, like, or new age, like whatever, I'll go from there. And we kind of talked about it before. So like, Hakuna Matata is kind of like my phrase this year. Lion King came out the same year I was born. and I'm just tired of arguing.
Yeah.
So tired of stressing over stupid little things. So I'm kind of going with that. Like, it's supposed to be a chill year. I did absolutely nothing my entire birthday. Like, it was the first birthday I've had off since I've worked for the company. My roommate and I went and turned in our bags to recycling. We looked at light bulbs. We got Chipotle. We came home and we watched 5 hours of whatever. I think it was Grey's Anatomy. Like whatever show we were binging. And I did absolutely nothing. And I just sat there the entire day, and it was marvelous. It is my non-stress year.
That's great. For me, I would have to say today is the first day of the rest of your life.
That's a good one.
When there was this one teacher I had in like 7th grade, and she was my home
room, yeah.
Homeroom, yeah. And I would go there every morning, and she would make a different person each day read that. She had it in the wall. Can you read that? Today is the first day of the rest of your life. Okay, so what does that mean for you? And people would always like say the same shitty thing because they were just tired.
Right.
But for me, it's stick in my head. I was like, it is true because yesterday already happened. So the rest of your life could be from like right now up to the next 5 minutes, and that's it.
Right.
And I'm like, it hit me so bad that whenever I'm scared of doing something, I just tell myself that today is the first day of the rest of your life, so you have this chance to do it. Maybe you don't have tomorrow to try that thing out, so just go for it.
Right. And I said that there's a quote hanging on my wall, and I hate this quote because I really like sleep. And it says, "No one looks back on their life and remembers the nights they had plenty of sleep." Let me just tell you, I remember almost every single night that I got 16 hours of sleep. They were fabulous. But I like sleeping. The meaning of the quote, but at the same time, I'm like,
I get the quote, I get it, but at the same time, it's like sometimes I do need my 12 hours of sleep. Yes. Thank you so much.
College is over. I'm getting older, and I can't handle that anymore. I can't do the all-nighters anymore. We're in quarantine, and I literally still go to bed between 10 and 11 at the latest.
I don't. My hours are so crazy. I go to sleep like 4 a.m. and I wake up like I could wake up at 12. I mean, I could wake up at 4, but I could also wake up at 12. It depends on whatever my body wants.
The problem is like it's where we live in Florida. I can't go running when it's pitch black out because it's just not safe. But like it's also super hot and humid in the middle of the day. So I have to like be out by 9 a.m. if I want to go for my like walk or run. If I want to go running for sure. If I walk, like it's not as big of a deal. I'll usually go around like 6 or 7. But like if I can't get up in the morning, then whatever. Yeah. But the first couple weeks I didn't go to bed till like 3 a.m. I still got up at like 9 a.m. every day, but
yeah, I was still going to sleep very late at night, but waking up very early because of last 3 weeks before everything closed, I was doing morning shifts. I was doing like 6 a.m., 7 a.m., 6 a.m., 7 a.m. I'm like, but yeah.
Welcome to my everyday life. Dude, when I was getting trained for coordinator, our first shift was my morning shifts for help desk, 4:30 in the morning. I had to be there at 4:30. And I'm like, what? I can't do this.
I remember that very last day before, like the last day we were open. So I was a Skyliner, and oh my God. They announced the CPs were leaving. So the CPs called out. So I was in the middle of my morning shift that I started at 6 a.m. and I was going to end it at 1. So in the middle of my shift, I check on the hub, I check on my phone, and there's another shift for later at 5. Guess what? I came home, I took a nap. I went back to work. at 5. I worked from 6 to 1, and then from 5 to like 12. I was dead. The fact that I didn't have to put an alarm for the next day was beautiful, but guess what? I woke up at freaking 5 a.m.
Oh.
Again. I was like, oh no, why?
There were several days, especially when Rise opened, that they needed people to stay. We didn't have people there. Like, of course, there's always call outs. And they were like, all right, who wants to stay? Like, whatever it is, we'll let you. I was doing 16-hour days, 12 to 16-hour days, and then waking up the next day just as early to do it all again. And it's rough. So, like, when I extended, I'd just be like, only if I can be in this position, or only if I can be in this location, or only if I can do this. And, like, it wasn't to be like, oh, I only want this. It was like, I mentally can't do anything else. And they're like, no, we'll take whatever you can do. My voice got scratchy.
I remember when I was at Park Entry. Oh God, Christmas Day.
Yep.
So I don't know if you remember that I went to California, but I was leaving for California that night. So I was leaving on the morning of the 26th, but on Christmas Day, on the 25th, I was working. I had to be at work at 5 a.m. Yep. No, wait, yes, because we clocked in at 5 a.m. So we had to be there early, and you know, it's a whole process. So I remember getting off work and being so, because a lot of people called out. Of course, it's Christmas, and it was busy. Of course, it's Christmas Day, dude. I remember that I worked from 5 until 2 p.m.
Yeah.
To come home to finish packing, because I was not done packing because I was finishing laundry, to pick back up everything, have everything done. And then my friend who I was gonna fly with, he drove over. We went to City Walk for some drinks. And the only way for me to stay awake, I chugged a whole drink, like the frozen drinks from Fat Tuesday.
I've never been.
So those are really strong frozen drinks. And I put in a shot of additional liquor inside, and I chugged it, and I went on the Hulk, and I did the Hulk 4 times in a row.
Dude, how? Like, Hulk effect already is bad with
and I was, because it was empty, it was Christmas Day,
right.
And I was there right before they were about to close. And I was like, I was chugging it while I was walking, and I did the Hulk, and it was like, this was my Christmas gift. I did the Hulk 4 times in a row. I did the front row, the back row, and the middle, like, because it was empty. I got to choose. Everyone was at Disney World. No, Islands of Adventure. And after that, we went for we had to stay awake, right? So I got another drink, and then we went to this food truck area that they had a bunch of like Puerto Rican food and all that, and we stuffed our mouths with food. And then we went to another place, to my friend's place, because she was gonna have my other friend's car, that the car was gonna stay there. And I sat on the couch. We were just gonna wait for like an hour or two. I sat on the couch. I passed out so fast that when I heard my alarm, I was like, oh my God, what time is it? What time is it? And we were not late. We were on time. We did everything on time, but it was so stressful. But yeah, that shift in Christmas Day was the thing that fucked me up really bad.
This year was the first Christmas. I was so excited. So, like, I have Tuesday, Wednesdays off. And that's when Christmas Eve and Christmas fell this year. I was so excited because my family was coming down. Like, my mom likes to come for Christmas. And my cousins usually come too, because their daughter, my other cousin, actually works down here as well. I was so excited. And then everybody got scheduled mandatory 6th day. So I finally had Christmas Eve and Christmas off to spend with my family. and I got mandatory 6th day. And luckily they gave it to me on Christmas Eve, so like I got to spend Christmas with my family. But I was just like, wow, I finally get to have a holiday with my family, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
But
It was a lot.
uh,
With that said, Sarah, thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
This was so fun.
It was a good time.
It was. And thank you for everything.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Bye.
Hi, thanks for watching. If you want to be part of one of these videos, just contact me on Instagram. You know where to find me, or you just leave a comment and I'll try to find you. Like I say, this is just an interview. This is just a fun conversation. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good morning. Thanks for watching.